if you're here, we're having our next class in October 26th. So don't miss it. It'll be a great class, and come as you are. Today's class is pretty cool because I was able to take one of Arthur's classes that I was reviewing and looking at it going, what is he talking about? And then I realized after breaking it down that he's talking about quite a lot. Because if you know anything about Arthur, those of you that are new students that are with us, and those of you that are old seasoned students, or not old, but seasoned, as I said, you guys know directly that Arthur would talk and talk and talk, and within a 5 to 2 minute span, you'd be like, okay, my brain is overloaded, help me. So we're doing the normal thing where we're talking about the horror area of the class time, which we're not going to spend too much time on because we've already gone that, but I do have in the notes on that. And 2 of you last month actually talked to me about that directly. And we actually got together and talked about some horror charts themselves and how they actually bear fruit in what we're doing. We're not going to cover a world event this time because I've got about a 45 to an hour of Arthur, and we'll cut out the time. But if we have some questions afterwards, or we want to answer some questions, we can go through that also. As you can see, I updated the site, which is pretty cool. And a lot of the things on there are all the way down. You'll have to actually go on the site and take a look at that. Now, one of the things that you'll find too is that there's a lot of free stuff on there for you that are watching this on YouTube, and you need to go on the site and just basically log on and be part of that to get those announcements. I might be running a special for November because we're not going to have class November or December. This is the chart, the horror chart for this class. I'm going
to my Venus.
What's that?
My natal Venus.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that because that's personal information, and I don't put that out because Arthur told us never to share your chart with other astrologers or people because they'll know who you are unless you have a relationship with them. So what do we see on that? Go ahead now.
I invite astrologers to have fun with that. A Gemini with a fixed grand cross, knock yourself out.
That's right, brother. You got it. You got it. Let's go ahead and I got quite the laundry list of things that we'll be covering today inside of that Arthur will be talking about today. That's why I'm like, well, I think we should probably try to just bore through that stuff. And if there's other questions later, then we can cover it. A lot of these, I actually had to break it down into 2 classes because this is like 2 hours and 14 minutes. So I cut it down to just 55 minutes, and then we'll watch that first segment, and then we'll do some commenting on it. And then we'll do a few plugs on people's things that are going on, and then we'll call it a day because I don't want to take too much of everybody's time. But I think that that's important that I just point that out, and then we'll be going over this other part because he covers a lot, and you'll have to probably listen to this 3 or 4 times. I had to listen to it 6 because I was like, where the hell's that? And then I looked it up and I went, oh, okay, all right, I see it now. And I have very good notes on this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in to the class part. No, Morgan, we're going to finish this today. Okay. I told folks I had a lot of people, and Peter was telling me that my presentation was way too long and I need to cut it down a little bit. So that was funny when he said that. And that's neat. It's neat that pointing out a call out to Loda here that he actually pointed that out. And I went, yeah, awesome. That was in the chart. So let's go ahead and share the screen on that part.
This week has been Mercury retrograde for me.
Well, that's how.
I usually don't get that, but this week I got lots of computer problems, lots of car problems, granddaughter, phone problems, you name it. If it's electronic, there's been a problem around it. And so I've been so fortunate and lucky to have that, I decided to vomit. So I'm going to borrow somebody's Comet, a little car.
Can you borrow somebody's Comet?
I'll borrow the Comet because it makes me want to, at any rate, that's where it's at. Okay, we're gonna do a couple of things today. I want to cover a few points, old and new. Anybody do the new moon chart? Well, I didn't think so, because I know that hard work and study in astrology is really asking a lot. So what I thought I would do is do that work for you. So
That was fun.
Wow.
Was that a lot of, I mean, and it goes on for about another hour. So I was like, no, we'll do it next time, you know, the rest of it next time. But is that just a lot of info or what?
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he just covered so much meat in so little bit of amount of time. It's just like, oh my God, really? So does anybody have any questions? I will show for those of you that are new here. I do have the book listed in the notes that I'm going to show you, and you could get your phone out, take a picture of it, or you know, or you could get the document later on the site because it'll be available also. And a shout out to everybody here that's here because we've got some good astrologers here and professional astrologers here. So I appreciate you all showing up. Pat didn't make it, but you'll get this later, Pat. So it's okay. So there was a disconnect there. So let's go ahead and a couple of other ones will be getting in later also because they like what I do. Okay. So you know, there was a lot of things on here. The horse racing, things of that nature. He did cover some of that in there, and the numerology is gold. Those of you that don't understand the numerology, it was covered in a previous class. I've got numerology 1, numerology 2, where he covers most of it in there. And then I go over parts of it that he didn't even cover, the stuff that I did for my research, which, wow, you know, you'll look at it. Jody and I talked about that a little bit, the connection inside the book that they had on that. But anyways, this is the Stellar Influences book that he was talking about. That's by Reinhold Ebertin. And
Reinhold Ebertin. Reinhold.
See?
It's Reinhold Ebertin.
Verstehe nicht. But it's a very good book. We could actually go through a class on it that he did later on, which shows a lot of the details on how to actually apply this. And it is a challenge to apply it. If you're reading the book, it's, you know, it's pretty clear. And then he talked about the science of numbers, where he's talking about this grid that he showed you. For those of the new folks that are getting this and those that are purchasing it later. You can see the science of numbers right here, and this is the Amazon link for it. And then it's a good book to have. It's on Kindle, and it's worth your time if you're into astrology and into numerology, which with numerology is pretty good stuff if you know how to use it and apply it. And then of course, here's my stuff. I sell a lot of things on there that are of interest. If you're here, we're having our next class in October 26th. So don't miss it. It'll be a great class, and come as you are. And if you like meeting other astrologers, I know that Lotus Shah actually spoke last time at SCAN, and we had his advertisement up for 2 months while SCAN was closed. We have Cassandra Joanne Butler. I don't know her, but I'm going to get to meet her. And then Madame Rosa's back. And those of you that know Madame Rosa, which is actually Laura, but it's Madame Rosa, you'll actually be able to get a quick consult of your chart while she does it live. And it's really cool. Jody helped with that a few years, and Loda's there all the time with it. And it'll be a good time. And then we have our Christmas party. And then who knows who she's going to pull in this time on it. Those that want to see my last speech on it, you can go to the YouTube channel and see me talking about some of the stuff that actually came to fruition and some of it that didn't. And then, of course, there is the link up there on the top that's Meetup Scan Astro. And then we have the date there, which is October 11th. So it'll be a good time, and there's some good food there. And then I put Pat's on here just because I like Pat. She's fun. But she'll be doing a new one for 2024. And so let me stop this. And that's about it. We have a bunch of other things going on. Next month, I'll be taking the rest of this class. and putting it out there for you all to talk and to
Uh,
check it out. We'll see you in the stars.